everything and anything that you would like to examine, get a review of, go to 805reviews.com.
It's nice. It's an aggregate system. The way it works is, you can go to like one source and get your reviews, or you can go to like 6 different sources and get your reviews. Why would you go to 6 different sources to get your reviews when you can just have them all laid out for you right there at 805reviews.com? And then okay, this is what it's. How are you with reviews, by the way?
I look at them. I look at them from time to time, but it's so. I don't trust a lot of reviews, like on Yelp, for example. I feel like a lot of them are planted, and then people that really like something, they had a great experience, and then you kind of counterbalance out with the reviews where people are upset because they had a bad experience, and I guess you kind of got to go in the middle somewhere.
On Amazon, my deal is I will something could have 90% 5 stars. And you know me, what I do. I look at, I scroll down. I'm like, it's got 7% 1 star. What are those 1 stars all about? So I'll click on the 1 stars. Like, oh man, this product's crap. I'm not buying this. What a piece of garbage. I always gravitate towards the negative on the reviews.
Oh, well, see, I don't know. You just got to take everything with a grain of salt, right?
Well, that's why they lay it out for you, and they say, okay, the average is, a 4.2 or whatever. But I always look for the reason not to buy something, which is probably good for my wallet, right? My bank account is I go towards the 1-star ratings. I'm like, what did the 1-star rating person have to say about it? It's probably just somebody holding a grudge.
But yeah, I mean, it all depends. If somebody just throws down a review and says, "Oh, this is a great product, I recommend it to everyone," you don't take that. That's whatever.
So what? It's more in detail.
I want to hear more about. Oh, this is a great product. I've had it now for a year, or I've had it for 9 months. I use it once a week, and it works great. Or something that actually has some substance to it.
What is your thoughts on somebody who actually takes the time and the effort to take pictures of product that's being reviewed, the job that it did, and do a 5 to 6 paragraph write-up on it?
Okay, well, I like pictures. I like pictures, but if it's more than 2 paragraphs, if it's more than a paragraph, if it's more than 5 sentences, all right, which could be a long paragraph or 2 short paragraphs, okay, I'm fine. But if it's more than that, then this person obviously needs, obviously believes their opinion is, then they're entitled or something. Then it's too much. It's just a little bit too detailed, because 5 paragraphs, 4 or 5 paragraphs.
Don't you question the review? Because
I question their motive.
Who's got that time on their hands to write that review, take the pictures, upload the picture, do the product demonstrations, sometimes add video to it. And you're like, wait a minute, okay? You are getting something for this, okay? There's some kind of endorsement going on here, or you're hoping that the retailer will go ahead and send you free stuff in the future. There is some motive to your review. I left a review of a hotel over the weekend because I was prompted to by TripAdvisor.
Well, you've been doing this a lot more lately. You just left one about the hotel in Monterey.
It was in Santa Cruz, and I definitely would. Sorry. I would leave a review for that one.
To me, that's the same area.
That one Is
that not the same area?
No, it's not. There's 70 miles difference between Santa Cruz and Monterey.
I never go up there.
It's like saying.
Thank you for
that's
informing
me. That's like saying Paso Robles and Santa Maria are the same.
Santa Cruz and Monterey, there's 70 miles between the two. Okay.
Yes. And
so tell me about your review over the weekend.
So I had an excellent stay at the hotel. It worked out good, and it was cheaper than my first hotel option. So I was really excited about that.
Was it a chain?
No, it was a small. So what happened was I went to last week. I went to the podcast convention, and through the podcast convention's website, they automatically try to get you to book a room at the Marriott because that's where the convention is taking place. Well, when they automatically tried to get me to book the room there, I was like, okay, I just went ahead and I booked the room there. And I booked the room there, and I was all set to go. And then my wife said, hey, we're thinking about joining you. The last thing that I wanted my wife to do was have an enjoyable experience at the Marriott in Anaheim, because that meant that every time that we went down to Anaheim to visit the mouse,
right,
that we would have to stay at the last place that we went to in which we had a pleasurable experience at. So I automatically moved to a junkie hotel as soon as she said that. She said, you know what? I think the kids and I are going to come down and join you. We're going to go to the park while you go to your convention. I was like, okay, then I'm switching the hotel. We're staying at the Alpine Inn.
Does she know that you had booked the Marriott to begin with?
No, she didn't.
Such a dick move. So what? Then the Alpine Inn ended up being nice?
See, what happened was the hotel that we normally stayed at was $100 a night. Normally, always $100 a night. Then they started doing renovations. Then they started charging for parking. Then they started charging for other fees that were associated with resort fees and stuff like that. It's Anaheim, but we can have that conversation.
I don't know where you're staying.
Elsewhere. And so,
I know the difference between Anaheim and L.A., even though it's all the Los Angeles
You just
area.
called it L.A.
They call them the Los Angeles Angels, for God's sake.
And that's blasphemy. They should not be called the Los Angeles Angels. You know.
Anyway, so you stayed at the Alpine Inn,
California Angels,
and you had a good time there. It was clean. It was a good place.
And it was nice because it was like 14 rooms. Okay. It was 14 rooms, all families, because they're all there for the same reason. But 14 rooms versus 14 rooms on one floor. You deal with a lot of traffic, right?
Right.
We ended up switching hotels to another hotel that she had booked for the second part of the weekend, and there's people walking by our window left and right. The Alpine Inn was like 14 rooms. Once you're in the parking lot, you got a nice little close-knit family is what it is. And it was nice for a convention down there because you're not bumping into other convention goers as you walk through the hallways because then they want to stop and talk to you. Oh, hey, what are you... In this instance, it would be like, hey, what's your podcast about? And I don't want to have that conversation. So I want to walk across the street, stay across the street from the convention center in a 14-room family where there's just nothing but tourists going to Disneyland every day. And I don't have to worry about bumping into other convention goers. So I wrote all this in the review on TripAdvisor. And I gave it 5 stars. But then I wrote...
Don't you think they're going to look at this and go, God, who is this dork?
Yeah.
I don't care about your podcast convention. I'm glad you enjoyed your stay.
So it was 6 sentences long on TripAdvisor, and I wrote the review, and I was like, oh, my gosh. That's a long review. They're going to think I'm like in the fix on this. So I started looking. Then I started having review. I started
review remorse?
Yes, exactly. I was like, wait, what are other people saying about this place? So I had to start looking at the reviews. And pretty much everybody had to say the same thing as I did, except for the convention part. I may have put a layer of extra frosting on that cake.
You stayed at a 14-room motel that you drive up and probably park in front of your room and put your family to bed bugs and other things because you didn't know it could have been a cockroach motel.
Yeah, but I read the reviews prior, and it was 4.5 stars. It actually got more. But it got better.
You have a Marriott or you have a 14-room motel.
It got better. It got better reviews than the Marriott.
I think you lucked out.
It got better reviews than the Marriott did. If I didn't, then I was going to go ahead and hang with the Marriott. But what I'm trying to do is drive down the expectations of my family when staying in Disneyland because I don't want to pay an arm and a leg to stay at a hotel at Disneyland because it's the worst place to spend a lot of money on a hotel, right? You think about it. You go and you're at Disneyland the entire day, then you come back and you pass out. I don't even care at the end of the night if I have bed bugs. Because if I have bed bugs at the end of the night, at least I have a place to sleep. That's how tired I am.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KCOZ rocks.